Both things went sideways for Lou Anarumo in Cincinnati. He's still considered one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. It didn't take him very long for him to land on his feet. He'll be in Indianapolis next year with the Colts running that defense. We're going to break down one of my favorite pressures from him this year. He used kind of multiple parts. He used a double mug presentation with a way of getting an overload wrap stunt and then sending a defensive back. Now, the counter to this is that the Ravens do a really good job picking this up. So even though you have this awesome design and it's going to hit, there's a few things that went wrong. We're going to break down the entire play. Again, it's one of my favorite pressures from this past season by the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals present the Ravens with a double mug alignment, meaning that we're going to have both linebackers in the A gaps. We're going to have a wide alignment outside. So we're going to have wide fives and wide threes. The addition of a defensive back here is simply just to make sure that we have some cover for the running back. It can also be an indicator for the quarterback. Hey, he's got to figure out, where is this guy going? Is somebody dropping out? Is he adding in? Is this an overload blitz, meaning that they're just going to max us out and send everybody through the gap? Having this guy here is going to be crucial to kind of how to handle this running back off of this pressure. Now, the thing that I love about this is that you're essentially forcing the offense to run one way of doing pass protection. So you can get a full slide, but I'm going to get edge pressure off of it. If anything, they're going to slide to the back. They're going to leave 91 with the slide. They're not going to slide away from the sack leader in the NFL. What typically ends up happening is that you have man blocking. So you're going to have man blocking on the outside, and then the center is, and the running back are going to pick who they want to go to. Typically, the center is going to go away from the running back, and then the running back is going to step up. This is part of that process for Cincinnati and this manipulation. The one thing that I really love, one of my favorite pressures, is an overload, what's called a wrap stunt. Now, you typically get this out of a load, or what I call a boss front, bigs on same side. So essentially, you're going to put a nose, you'll have your three tech, and you'll have your defensive end. The three tech and the defense and the nose are going to work to the face of the opposite lineman and then work to the outside gap. So the three technique will work to the face of the guard, or the tackle eventually end up getting into the contain. You have the nose work to the guard. He's going to end up in the B gap. The defensive end is going to stab, and then he's going to wrap all the way across. And typically you're trying to create some sort of a lane in the A gap opposite the center. What you want with this is you really want that center to chase this lineman. So he's going to actually dent the A gap, work to the face of the guard, invite the center, and then let them push him away. That allows that gap to really close. And then what you want over here is you want these guys kicking outing over here. Now, what Cincinnati does is they're going to drop this linebacker. He's going to be in charge of the tight end. That's going to have the center freeze, right? Because he's supposed to block this. So once he sees this, he's actually going to work back into Wilson. And so instead of working to the face on this, because we're going to actually end up adding our guy off the edge here, our defensive back is going to end up being off the edge here. What ends up happening is that you're going to have the running back and the center work, and they're going to double team Wilson. You're going to have the guard work out here, and then this guy is going to work with the three technique. He's going to work vertically, and he's going to try and get these two guys to double. So essentially what we're trying to get is two double teams. We're trying to get a double team on Wilson. We're trying to get a double team on our three tech, and we're trying to get the NFL sack leader over here. Now, we're going to go ahead and send these guys through their gap, so we know that we're going to be gapped out over here. So you can see the perceived lane that we're going to get. The added value here is the DB right here is actually going to work off the edge, and that's going to mess with the running back. So let's go through the snap of the ball. At the snap of the ball, you're going to see that the center freezes. Once he sees that we get the linebacker drop out, he's going to turn to the linebacker blitzing through the A gap. This is where our double team comes into play. You can see 98 is working to the outside shade of the guard, and he's trying to get in the B gap, and then he's going to pin that tackle tackle. 21 is just watching the back. He's making sure it's not a screen. The moment he realizes it's not a screen, he's going to add in. So we get a little bit of a hug rush here aspect here. You can see Hendricks right now looks like this thing's going to be open. Now, 92 doesn't need to be sniffing inside. He needs to keep everything outside. One, we want to contain Lamar. If Lamar's going to step up, he's going to have to step up into the lane. And guess who he's going to find when he finds that? He's going to find Hendricks right there. Now, this is a great job by the Ravens reacting in tandem, reacting as a group, and then shifting everything over as we get the wrap stunt. So the moment that 98 works outside and the guard feels him get collected by the tackle, he starts working back. The moment that he works back, he pushes the running back off, who now is seeing, he's keeping an eye on it. Once he sees 21 start working, he's going to now work across. You can see the guard is going to push the center off, who's then going to get Hendrickson, who doesn't really have a nice lane. Sometimes on these, you can wrap. If he has a nice path, he's going to be able to beat that center. But what do we have? 92 ends up stepping into the A gap. Hendrickson has to keep on going. We end up winning outside, and then we end up winning with 21 outside. Lamar is special. He's able to get out of this. One of the reasons why this is all encompassing of like, you can have the right play, but the player can just completely destroy this if it's an offensive player here, like Lamar, who can completely get out of this. 21 probably needs to hold a little bit higher of the shoulder as he's going through this, not dipping inside. Because if you see this, we have a really nice layering effect here. You're going to have this guy work the inside shoulder. Hendricks is going to work outside. You would really like to have him here instead of working this angle, because now he's going to be able to backdoor in and then get out of this. Hill, again, converts into a receiver once he sees this. Lamar sees him, tosses him the ball. Though still, this doesn't result in a first down. It's a beautiful look. Don't think that this blitz can't work. This is exactly the look that you want. The Ravens just have a really good offensive line, especially on the inside. The center is able to then pass this off. Him and the guard are able to pass this off. But a lot of times you will get a center that gets sticky to this. He's going to end up picking this up. The last resort here is 21 off the edge, which is really difficult to block. We see this, the running back doesn't really even touch him that well. He doesn't really affect his path here. So again, if you're playing somebody other than Lamar, this is probably a sack. This is a great look at manipulation here by the Bengals. And then again, just a great play by the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, to get out of this, and great pickup working in tandem, all encompassing. We get good offensive line play. We have really good design on the defense. This is why I wanted to highlight this play from the Cincinnati Bengals.